Day 1. Sweet intentions, salty results. It was my husband's birthday last weekend, so I was thinking of making him a homemade cake. Some people say it's a waste of time when there are so many amazing bakeries, but I don't see it that way. There's something special about making it yourself. After baking and decorating, I proudly brought the beautiful cake to my husband and sang, "Happy birthday!" But as he took his first bite, he made a funny face. "This is interesting," he said. Interesting? What does that mean? Think of it as a compliment. His expression said otherwise, so I tried a bite myself. Turns out, I used salt instead of sugar. Oh well, at least it saves us from all those extra calories. Day 2. A chance encounter over coffee. You'll never guess what happened to me today. I was waiting in line at a cafe, struggling to decide what to order, when the person behind me noticed and said, "You can't go wrong with the signature menu. It's what they're famous for. Why don't you give it a try?" "That sounds like a good choice. Thanks." We started talking, and it turns out we're from the same city. Even crazier, she lives in the building right next to mine. The conversation flowed so easily that I completely lost track of time. Goodness, I need to bring this to my husband. He's probably wondering where I am. It's been great chatting with you. I hope we run into each other again. Who knew that picking up coffee would lead to meeting a new friend? Day 3. Scooter ride turned rainy adventure. My husband and I have always been thrill seekers, so when we were out for a walk and spotted some scooters, we couldn't resist. "How do you feel about going on a little adventure?" my husband asked. "I'm down. Let's go." At first, it was fantastic. The wind in our hair, not a care in the world. But after a while, something didn't feel quite right. The streets were suddenly empty, and the sky was turning gray fast. "Did you check the weather forecast before we came out?" I asked. "Pretty sure it was supposed to be sunny all day." We ended up riding our scooters back in the rain, completely soaked. But I can't complain. It really was an adventure. Day 4. A much-needed Jeju getaway. Have you ever had one of those cravings where you just want to get out of the house? My husband and I have been feeling stir-crazy after weeks of being stuck inside because of the cold. So, we decided to take a trip to break free and took a week off for a short winter getaway. My husband was booking our tickets online. "Does next Friday work for us?" "Yeah, we can't afford to go international, so where should we go?" I asked. "I'm up for anything, as long as it's not too cold. How about Jeju Island? They've got a great sale going on right now," he suggested. And just like that, our trip to Jeju was set in motion. Day 5. Monday blues and a latte fix. It's Monday, which means it's time to go back to work. It feels like our holiday was just a dream that flew by, but now it's back to reality. Getting to work today took ages. I still can't get used to rush hour traffic. I wish I could just snap my fingers and teleport there in an instant. Impossible, but hey, I can dream. The one thing I look forward to on Monday is stopping by my favorite cafe on the way to work. "Hi, I'd like a latte with non-fat milk, extra foam, and a sprinkle of cinnamon on top, please." "Sure. Is that for here or to go?" the clerk asked. "To go, but you don't need to give me a carrier." Sipping my latte on the way to work makes everything better. Day 6. Breaking the bad gift giving streak. Have I mentioned that I'm horrible at buying gifts? I've always wanted to get better at it, and while I've improved over the years, I still have a pretty bad track record. And you know what my problem is? I overthink everything. Last week was Valentine's Day, and I had no idea what to get my husband. He's not into chocolate, and snacks alone wouldn't be enough. After putting it off until the last minute, I finally had to make a decision. I ended up ordering an electric razor that would be delivered the next day. And guess what? He loved it. Maybe my streak of bad gift giving is finally over. This calls for a celebration. Day 7. From dripping faucet to full-blown flood. Water has been dripping from our kitchen faucet for the past few days, and it's driving me crazy. I can't sleep well when there's a constant, repetitive sound like that, and I'm pretty sure my bad mood lately is because of it. So I begged my husband to take a look at it. "I'm not quite sure if I'm doing this right," he said. "I can't handle another night listening to that. Please, just do something, anything." And then, suddenly, water started spraying out from under the sink. It went on for a good 5 minutes before we finally figured out how to turn the water off. We then spent the next few hours mopping up the kitchen floor. The plumber is coming to fix it tomorrow, and we won't have water until then. But at least the dripping sound is gone. Day 8. A great deal or a fashion fail? My cousin is getting married in a few weeks. So yesterday, I went to the department store to find something to wear. But as I looked around, everything seemed super expensive. "Would you like any help finding something?" a clerk asked me. "I'm looking for a dress for my cousin's wedding." "What kind of dress do you have in mind?" she asked again. "Something simple and comfortable, but also elegant," I said. In the end, I walked out of the store with a cute little red dress that was actually pretty cheap. But as soon as I got home and tried it on again, one of the straps broke. I guess you get what you pay for. Luckily, my mother-in-law is amazing at fixing things like this. Hopefully, she can help me out. Day 9. Chores, arguments, and making up. My husband and I had an argument today about getting chores done. Here's how it went. "Honey, if you got a minute, would you take out the trash for me?" "Sure, no problem. Just give me a second to finish this and I'll get right on it." Over an hour later, and he still hadn't taken it out. I was unusually tired and cranky, so I started nagging him about it. "You told me you were going to take the trash out an hour ago." "I'm still planning on doing it. This is taking me longer than I expected. Why do you have to get on my case about it when you can see that I'm busy?" In the end, we ended up raising our voices at each other, which left both of us feeling upset. We both apologized afterward. I think the lack of sleep got to us. Thankfully, we worked it out and took the trash out together, hand in hand. Day 10. Hilarious first day. Today was the first day of our new Pilates class. It wasn't exactly what I was expecting, though. We picked up Pilates to improve our flexibility and health, but I'm afraid we bit off more than we could chew. Neither of us could even touch our toes. It was hard to stay focused when we kept giggling at each other every time we made a mistake. I don't think we'll be able to stick it out for very long. We both agreed that exercising makes sense, but maybe Pilates isn't the right fit for us. We're going to finish out the month and then try something new. Maybe ping pong? Or weight training? We'll see. Day 11. Spicy food fiasco. I went out to dinner with a friend tonight, and she insisted that I try her food, one of the spiciest dishes on the menu. Come on, it won't be that bad. Just give it a try. Unlike you, I have zero tolerance for spicy food, I told her. Just one bite. It won't kill you. So I caved and took one bite, instantly regretting it. The moment I swallowed, my eyes started watering, and my mouth felt like it was on fire. Water didn't help, so I tried eating plain rice, but that didn't work either. I told you it was too spicy, I gasped when I could breathe again. Lesson learned. Never trust someone who says, "It's not that spicy." Day 12. From movie night to midnight regrets. Tonight was movie night, and as always, we had trouble picking something we both wanted to watch. Have you heard of this movie? My husband asked. It looks familiar. Isn't it horror, though? It is, but I thought maybe we could try it out. The reviews are fantastic. It's not like I hate horror, but I don't feel like having nightmares all night. Can't we watch something else? I said. Come on, it'll be great. Let's go to the kitchen for some popcorn and drinks, and then we can snuggle up on the couch. Okay, if you say so, I reluctantly agreed. Do you know the movie Train to Busan? That was the movie we watched. Let's just say I'm going to have trouble taking the train to Busan next week. Day 13. One step closer to presentation day. At work, we have a big project due in just a few days, and all of us have been pulling long hours to get everything done. To make matters worse, the internet went down at our office today for some mysterious reason. Everyone had to work overtime to make up for the lost time. Thankfully, we're not behind on anything, but it was a pretty close call. Since I'm the owner, I checked in with the team leader for an update. Everything prepped and ready for the presentation next week? I asked. We're not quite there yet, but almost. Just a few more things to finish up and we'll be ready. Great, I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully everything goes as planned. All of our hard work is going to pay off. I just know it. Day 14. Turning moments into masterpieces. I have a bit of a unique hobby. In my free time, I love putting memories down on paper in a scrapbook. I have a terrible memory, which explains why looking back at old entries is so much fun. My husband and I love flipping through the pages, reminiscing about our past adventures. Another thing I can't get enough of? Stickers. I use all kinds of stickers and decorative papers to bring each entry to life. Creating my own little masterpieces with beautiful illustrations helps me deal with stress. Sadly, I haven't been able to find the time for it lately. So, I've decided to set aside some time and treat myself to some scrapbooking. It'll be my little form of self-care. No matter how busy life gets, I want to keep creating something beautiful to look back on. Day 15. A special Chuseok with loved ones. Today was the day we headed to Yangsan to spend Chuseok with my husband's family. In English, Chuseok is often called Korean Thanksgiving, but it's actually quite different from Thanksgiving in the US. Back home, we usually just eat together and catch up, but in Korea, families also gather to honor their ancestors through traditional ceremonies. We hit the road around 11 a.m. Dinner wasn't until 5, but we had a long drive ahead. I could really use a cup of coffee. Can we grab one at a rest area on the way? I asked my husband. Sure, honey, no problem. There's a rest area coming up. We can stop by. Once we arrived, everything went smoothly. We all worked together in the kitchen, then spent the evening laughing and talking. I feel so lucky to have such an amazing family. I may not have grown up with Chuseok, but it's become a special part of my life. Day 16. Engine light on, fingers crossed. My car's engine light started blinking today, which meant it was time to take it to the mechanic. My dad taught me how to change the oil and handle basic maintenance when I was younger, but beyond that, I'm pretty lost when it comes to cars. So, after work, I swung by the mechanic. My engine light started flashing this morning. Could you check it out for me? Sure thing. Seems like your car's in pretty good shape. It shouldn't take us too long, the mechanic said. It's nice of you to say so, but I really just do the bare minimum. I'm hoping it's nothing serious. Money's a bit tight right now. He assured me not to worry and said I could come pick it up in a few days. Now, I just have to cross my fingers and hope that the bill isn't too painful. Day 17. A hassle of a trip, but worth it in the end. We had to renew my residence card today, and wow, what a hassle. Since my in-laws were borrowing our car, we had to take the bus. The trip usually takes a little over an hour, but we missed one of our transfers and had to wait 25 minutes for the next one. I love our city for its kind people and great facilities, but public transportation can definitely be a pain sometimes. Once we got to the immigration office, though, it was smooth sailing. The office in our town is way less busy than the one in Seoul, and the staff are a lot friendlier too. I really owe my husband. He's helped me so much with all the paperwork and requirements that are hard for me to understand. Honestly, I don't know what I'd do without him. Things are definitely more complicated for a foreigner living in Korea, but that's just how things work. In the end, it's totally worth it to live in such an amazing country. A little extra paperwork is a small price to pay for getting to call this place home. Day 18. A small gesture with a big impact. I've had a lot on my plate lately, and today I was feeling a bit overwhelmed by it all. But something happened that completely turned my day around. While I was out running an errand, a stranger gave me a quick once-over and said, "That dress looks great on you." Her compliment caught me off guard, but I thanked her right away. "Thanks. It's nice of you to say so." And just like that, we went our separate ways. No small talk, no ulterior motive, just a kind passing compliment. It was such a simple moment, but it reminded me how small gestures can make someone's day. It got me thinking, maybe I should start giving more compliments too. Kindness is contagious, and I'm ready to spread it. Day 19. A dentist visit and a guilty conscience. I've been putting off going to the dentist for a while now, but yesterday, I suddenly got a toothache. So, I made an appointment online and went in this morning to see what was wrong. I'm afraid I wasn't as prepared as I should have been. "Have you been flossing regularly?" the dentist asked me. Well, I try," I mumbled. She gave me a look that made me feel like I was back in elementary school getting scolded by a teacher. I hear that from every patient. Well, I feel the same way every time I come here, like I should have done a better job taking care of my teeth, I admitted. Fortunately, no cavities this time around. Maybe next time I'll actually stick to my flossing routine. Maybe? Day 20. Talking, venting, and feeling a little lighter. I usually talk with my best friend from the States about once a month, and today was one of those days. She's married with a daughter and just bought a new house. Send me some pictures of your new place. Are you planning to remodel anything? I asked. We're planning on fixing up some things, but we're not there yet. We started looking into it, and renovating anything is ridiculously expensive. I don't even want to know what my next bill is going to look like. You know what? I feel the same way. Adulting is pricier than I ever imagined, I agreed. We didn't solve anything, but at least we got to vent. Sometimes that's all you need to take a little weight off your chest. Day 21. A spouse's plea for moral support. My husband came home last week with a weird, foreboding look on his face. What's wrong? What's with that look? Is something wrong? I asked. My boss asked me to go golfing with him this weekend. I've never played golf in my life, but it would be rude to say no. Please, come with me. I don't think I can get through it on my own. Are you sure you want me to come? It's not like I've ever played golf before either, I said. We'll both be uncomfortable, but on the bright side, at least I won't be the only one who's awful. I need your moral support, he pleaded. Okay, I'll go with you. Let's make fools of ourselves together, I laughed. It could be a complete disaster, or maybe even the best experience ever. Either way, it's going to be memorable. Day 22. Learning the art of kimchi from my mother-in-law. This year for my birthday, I asked my mother-in-law to teach me how to make kimchi. Since my birthday is in December, it's the perfect time. Many Korean families gather around this time of year to prepare their yearly batch. We planned to make it together when she visited over my birthday weekend. I got everything we need, I told her excitedly. Okay, wonderful. Let's get everything set up. We'll start with the cabbage and salt first. Bring them over here, my mother-in-law said. My husband walked into the kitchen and raised an eyebrow. What are you both up to? Making kimchi, I grinned. Get your gloves on and join us. The whole family got involved, working together to make the perfect kimchi. Even my father-in-law pitched in, carefully rubbing the seasoning mix into the cabbage. And of course, we finished it all off with an amazing meal of boiled pork belly, because nothing pairs better with fresh kimchi. Day 23. Finally planning a much-needed date. My husband and I have both been busy, and we haven't really had time to go on a proper date. So today, we were trying to decide what to do this weekend when we go out. How does rock climbing sound? There's a new place that just opened about a half-hour's drive away, I suggested. I'm not really in the mood for something too active. I'd rather do something more relaxing. How about a drive to the beach? He said. The beach is too far. After such a long drive, it's hard to actually enjoy it, I replied. Oh, I've got it. My friend told me about a parrot cafe not too far from here. Want to go check it out? Oh my gosh, yes! That sounds amazing! Let's just hope the parrots like us as much as we're going to like them. Day 24. Early bird versus night owl. When I was in college, I didn't wake up early unless I absolutely had to. I usually woke up around 9 or 10, went to class, then headed to my part-time job a few times a week. But recently, I heard that waking up early is better for both health and motivation, so I've been trying to make the switch. The biggest challenge, though, is that waking up early means I also have to go to bed earlier. That's been the hardest adjustment for me. I used to wind down at night by doing things I enjoy, like scrapbooking or watching movies. But if I go to bed early, I can't do those things at night, and doing them in the morning just doesn't feel the same. So, there are definitely pros and cons to being an early bird versus a night owl. I'm still figuring out which lifestyle suits me best. I want to take the healthier route, but I'm not sure if it'll work out the way I hope. Day 25. Brownies for the potluck. Some of my friends are hosting a potluck this weekend, and I got put in charge of dessert. I'm making some of my famous brownies, along with some fruit and ice cream to go with them. My mom has an amazing brownie recipe that was passed down from my grandmother. I used to bake them all the time for my friends' birthdays at school, and at one point, they started nagging me if I didn't bring them. They've always been a crowd favorite, so I know they'll be a hit at the party. After a quick trip to the store, I got started on my secret recipe. The smell of freshly baked chocolate filled the kitchen, and as soon as I took them out of the oven, my husband appeared. "What are you making, honey?" he asked. "They're for the potluck this weekend. No sampling allowed," I warned. Now, let's just hope I can get them to the potluck before my husband eats them all. Day 26. Singing, laughing, and loving life with my in-laws. Tonight, we went out to dinner with my in-laws, and my father-in-law and I shared some beer and soju together. My mother-in-law and my husband are both pretty weak when it comes to alcohol, so they usually don't drink. That means my father-in-law and I get to enjoy chatting and drinking together while they keep us company and enjoy the atmosphere. After dinner, we headed to karaoke. I always request my husband to sing Yosu Nightsea. His voice is like a dream. My mother-in-law has a deep, soulful voice that is so touching. And you know what? I never realized it before, but my father-in-law is also an amazing singer. He has a husky voice that makes people want to sing along. It must run in the family. Singing at karaoke melted all my stress away. No wonder I feel so much better now. If someone asked me, "What's it like being married to a Korean and living close to your in-laws?" I would say, every day is a new adventure and so much fun. Day 27. A stranger's warning. Something scary happened to me today. I was on my way to work, talking to someone on the phone, when someone stopped me just as I was about to enter my academy's building. "Sorry, I'll have to let you go." I hung up and looked at the person in front of me. "Thank goodness, I caught you just in time," she said in a winded voice. "The unthinkable will happen if you don't listen to me. Quit your job. It's way too dangerous for you here. They will find you." After saying that, she just turned around and left. Well, I didn't want to admit that she had scared me, so I just kept making my way to work. I held in all my emotions until I got home. "What are you so worked up about?" my husband worried. After I told him the story, I asked, "Am I being too dramatic? It feels like I should quit my job. I can't stop thinking about what she said. What if she's psychic? And who is they? What if I have to face her on my way to work again? I'm going crazy over this." My husband said my worrying was justified, but there's nothing we can do. I hope nothing bad happens. Day 28. A new family Christmas tradition begins. In the U.S., Christmas is a time of year to gather with family, eat way too much food, and exchange presents. The whole month leading up to Christmas, and sometimes even in November, you can hear carols playing everywhere. People decorate their houses with lights and winter-themed decorations, making everything feel festive and cozy. In Korea, I've noticed that Christmas feels a bit different. It's not quite as big of a deal as it is in the States, and it's often treated more like a date night than a family holiday. So this year, I decided to bring a little Christmas spirit to our family celebration in Korea. I bought a bunch of silly gifts and wrapped them all up. Then we played games together, earning money to use for buying gifts at the end. It was a blast. Everyone had so much fun playing, laughing, and unwrapping their surprise presents. I think we've just created a new family Christmas tradition. Day 29. Dog sitting adventures. One of our friends was moving this weekend, and she asked us to watch her dog for the day while the movers took care of everything. Would you mind watching my dog for a few hours this Saturday? I'm worried he'll get underfoot while the movers are carrying things in and out, she asked. Of course. Your dog is adorable. We'd be happy to help. After she dropped him off, we tried to take him outside for a walk. At first, he was great. But then, he spotted a bird and took off after it, pulling the leash right out of our hands. Thankfully, we managed to catch him, but after that little scare, we decided it was safer to bring him inside. We'd been considering getting a puppy of our own, and I was hoping this would be the perfect chance to convince my husband. But after chasing a runaway dog everywhere, I think he might need a little more convincing than I originally thought. Day 30. A texting mistake I'll never live down. I was about to head home from work when I suddenly started craving 족발. So I pulled out my phone and texted my husband. Honey, why don't we have 족발 for dinner tonight? We can snuggle and watch Netflix. It took him longer than usual to text me back, and I started wondering if something was wrong. Then my phone buzzed. Boss? I could go for some 족발, but I think you might have texted the wrong person. Cuddling might be a bit too much. I froze. I had sent the text meant for my husband to the new trainee. I had just given him my number today for work-related reasons and hadn't checked my chats carefully before hitting send. My bad. I must have gotten mixed up. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I'll see you at work tomorrow. I can't believe I accidentally asked my trainee to eat 족발, snuggle, and watch Netflix. My husband could not stop laughing when I told him. This 족발 better be amazing, because I need something to help me forget this disaster. Day 31. My first day without coffee. Wish me luck. This morning, I woke up feeling great, but as the day went on, a headache started creeping in. At first, it wasn't that bad, but it gradually got worse. I couldn't figure out what was causing it, so I asked my husband for advice. Well, maybe you're dehydrated, he guessed. I drank a lot of water last night and this morning. That can't be it, I said. Could it be a caffeine headache? Have you had any coffee yet today? He asked. That was it. You're right. I haven't had any coffee yet, I realized. Are you sure it's okay to keep drinking it? I'm worried about what all that caffeine is doing to your system, he said. Should I try quitting for good? I mean, do you think I can actually do it? Give it a try. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll be a heck of a lot healthier if you can at least cut down. So, I'm trying to quit coffee. Let's see how long this lasts. Day 32. Blind date success. My friend has been begging me to set her up on a blind date, but I was a little hesitant at first. She kept bugging me though, so I finally gave in and introduced her to one of my coworkers I've known a while. Finally, D-Day arrived, and after the time they were supposed to meet, I was dying of curiosity. How'd the date go? Don't keep me guessing. What was he like? Did you guys hit it off? I asked the moment she picked up the phone. He was amazing. We started talking and everything just clicked. The chemistry was through the roof. We already made plans to see each other again this week. I'm so happy for you, I cheered. Next time, why don't you join us and we can do a double date, she asked. That'd be great. Let's do it. They say if you match 3 couples, you can go to heaven. Looks like I've got 2 more to go. Day 33. Cooking Class Adventures. My husband and I decided to take a cooking class together, so we bought a few recipe books to practice at home first. Have you ever cooked anything before? I asked him. Not really. Does ramen count? Why not? I've cooked a bit, but I definitely need more practice. Hopefully we don't make fools of ourselves. Do you know if we're supposed to pay for our own ingredients? I asked. No, I checked the class description. It says they provide everything we need. It's all included in the class price, he said. How much does the class cost? I don't remember exactly, but I think it's around 500,000 won a month for both of us. The first dish on the menu? Kimchi jjigae, one of the staples of Korean cuisine. I can't wait to get started. Day 34. Online shopping regrets. Spring is coming, and with a change in seasons, I decided to buy some clothes online last week. I tried a new site. The clothes looked great in the pictures, and I was excited for them to arrive. Well, they finally came today. But the moment I opened the package, disappointment. The jeans were way too big, the shirt didn't fit right, and the designs looked nothing like the pictures. I immediately called my friend to vent. I can't stand online shopping sometimes. That's the last time I trust a cheap site like that. The pictures were completely different from what I got, I complained. Me neither. It's so frustrating when that happens, she agreed. Now I have to spend time returning everything. Who knows how long that'll take? Maybe I should just stick to shopping in store from now on. Day 35. My first Korean sauna experience. My husband told me that my mother-in-law had always wanted to go to a Korean sauna with a daughter. But since she had 2 sons, she never had the chance. So I decided to take her on a mother-daughter date. It was my first time going to one because we don't have that kind of culture where I'm from. At first, I had trouble getting comfortable. I'm not used to being naked around a bunch of strangers, and I definitely got a few curious stares. But once I got past that, I actually started to enjoy it. Soaking in the hot bath was incredibly relaxing, and my mother-in-law took me to the outdoor bath where she shared stories about going with her family when she was younger. Afterward, we drank shike together and chatted while sitting in one of the steam rooms. Spending time together like this made me appreciate her even more. I think we just started a new tradition. Day 36. Parents' Day preparations. Parents' Day is coming up, so my husband and I were on a mission to find the perfect cake and gift for my in-laws. First, we went to the bakery. Your mom loves cream cake, so how about pre-ordering this one with fruit on top, if that's okay with you? Yeah, that looks great. Did you have anything in mind for their present? What about one of those bouquets that looks like flowers but is actually made of money? That would be fun, I suggested. I'm sure they'll get a kick out of that. Do we have to order it online? He asked. I think so. Let's check it out and order it tonight. It looks like we're all set for Parents' Day. Now I just need to prepare gifts for my family in the States. It's a bit different there since Mother's Day and Father's Day are separate. Even though we live far apart, I still want to make sure my family in the U.S. feels appreciated too. Day 37. Learning the Busan dialect. When I first met my husband, we only spoke in English. But as things got more serious, I started studying Korean really hard so I could communicate with his family. The first time I met them, I was a little shocked. I thought they were fighting. But it turns out they're from Busan, and that's just how their dialect sounds. Lately, I've been trying to learn a bit of the Busan dialect so I can surprise my husband and his family. To check my progress, I called up a friend from Busan. "Do you think I sound natural?" I asked. "What makes you think you're speaking Busan dialect? It just sounds like Seoul dialect with a weird accent," she laughed. Clearly, it's not easy to get it right, but I'm having a lot of fun trying. I think I need more confidence and should worry less about getting it perfect. I'm not sure I'll ever master it completely, but at the very least, my husband will get a good laugh out of my attempt. Day 38. Encouraging a friend and finding motivation myself. One of my close Korean friends wants to get a job abroad, so she's been studying hard to prepare. But when we talked today, she admitted she was feeling overwhelmed. "It never feels like enough. I study almost every day, but I just don't feel like I'm getting any better," she sighed. "Feel free to ask me if you ever need anything. I'll help however I can. We can review and practice together," I told her. "Really? That would help so much, but I don't want to bother you," she hesitated. "That's what friends are for. Let's get you ready for the job of your dreams." She seemed so worried, so I hope I helped take some weight off her shoulders. We made a plan to study together once a week, and she even said I could ask her any Korean questions I have too. Now I'm feeling motivated to start studying Korean harder, thanks to her. Day 39. Time to let go. Decluttering for a fresh start. The seasons are changing, which means it's time to go through my closet. Not gonna lie, it's one of my least favorite things to do, but it has to be done. As I was sorting through my clothes today, I realized I haven't worn at least half of them in a while. I have so many clothes, but I barely wear any of them, I sighed. What about donating some? Do you want me to take a few to the donation box? My husband suggested. Maybe, but what if I suddenly want to wear them later? And some of these were gifts. Is it okay to just get rid of them? I hesitated. It feels ridiculous to keep moving the same unworn clothes back and forth every season. So this year, along with the changing weather, it's time to change my mindset and finally let go of the old clothes that never get worn. Day 40. A morning of chaos. I really had a rough day today. This morning I was on the phone with my coworker, just about to leave for work, when I realized I couldn't find my keys. "Hold on, I'll call you back in a few minutes," I said, before frantically searching the house. "Honey, have you seen my keys? I can't find them anywhere," I asked my husband. "Did you check your pockets? Or the bedroom dresser?" "I already checked both. Nothing." "Never mind, I found them." "Oh, where did they run off to?" he asked. "Somehow they got stuck inside one of my shoes," I sighed. "Wait, now I can't find my phone." Thankfully, I found it pretty quickly and still made it to work on time. But when I got there, "Hey, Gabrielle. Oh, why are you wearing sandals? Did you forget we're going hiking today for company morale?" After today, I've decided to get a new planner and record my schedule in it. I do not want a repeat of this morning. Day 41. Coffee and conversation on the rooftop. There's an elderly gentleman who looks after the building where my academy is located. I've always had a soft spot for hearing stories from the older generation, so I was eager to strike up a conversation with him. When I finally got the chance, he told me his life story. He's 87 years old with 2 children, but surprisingly, no grandkids. One of his sons runs a Korean medicine clinic, and the other had been working in China before moving back to Korea recently. He mentioned that he and his wife live separately now. That caught me off guard. It sounded a bit lonely to me, but he simply smiled and said, "It's better this way." I guess everyone has their own idea of happiness. Personally, I'd be lost without my husband. He offered me a cup of instant coffee, and we sat together in his small rooftop office, chatting away for about 30 minutes before I had to head back to class. Talking with him felt like taking a step back in time. I'm really looking forward to the next time we can sit down and chat. Day 42. The start of a new adventure. Well, I haven't talked about it before, but my husband and I have been thinking about having a baby. A few months ago, we decided to start trying, and guess what? I'm pregnant. A couple of weeks ago, I started feeling nauseous, and then my period was a week late. Since it was still so early, I didn't want to say anything to my husband just yet. So I secretly took a pregnancy test, and it came out positive. I immediately went to find my husband to tell him the news. "You look so happy. What's the occasion?" he asked. Without saying a word, I handed him the test. He kept looking back and forth between me and the test, completely stunned. "No way. We just started trying. How did it happen so fast?" "I know, but it did. We're going to have a baby," I squealed, throwing my arms around him. "We haven't gone to the doctor yet, but we will in a few weeks. This is the start of a brand new adventure, one that we'll be taking with one more person in our family." Day 43. Word of the day, hangry. I don't think I've mentioned it before, but I work at an English academy, and today, something hilarious happened with one of our students. She had seen a word she didn't know while watching a TV show at home, and as soon as she walked into class, she rushed up to me. "Miss Gabrielle, what does hangry mean?" she asked. Hangry? It means when someone is so hungry that they become angry. It's a mix of hungry and angry, I explained. Immediately, the entire class turned to one student and shouted, "That's you every day before lunch. You're hangry all the time." Everyone burst out laughing. Congratulations, class. The unexpected word of the day is hangry. It's almost dinner time. Who's feeling hangry? The students all jumped up saying, "Me, me, me." It was total chaos. Teaching with slang put a new twist on class. I think I'll find some more expressions to share with my students and get them a little more up to date with English. Day 44. Relaxing date at the aquarium. My husband and I decided to go on a date to the aquarium today. Instead of driving, we took the bus to Chamshir so we wouldn't have to deal with parking. "Honey, are you ready? We have to leave now if we're going to catch the bus," my husband called out. "I'm ready, but do you have your earbuds? I feel like watching a show together on the way, but I can't find mine. If we don't have earbuds, it'll be too loud for everyone else on the bus." After finding them, we headed out and arrived at the aquarium about an hour and a half later. Going to aquariums never gets old. Just looking at the water is so peaceful. "I could stare at the fish for hours," I said. My husband isn't as into sea life as I am, but he put up with my excitement like a champ. I think I even bonded with a stingray today. He waved at me, and I waved back. That counts, right? Day 45. Pregnancy struggles. Let me tell you, I have no idea why they call it morning sickness when it happens all day long. I'm so tired of feeling awful all the time. When was the last time you had a decent meal? I'm worried about you, my husband said as he gently rubbed my back. It's not so bad. At least I'm not throwing up all the time, but I never feel like eating and I'm always queasy. Do you think we should talk to the doctor about it? If it doesn't clear up soon, then let's ask about it. If you want, I can get you something, anything you need. Nothing at the moment, but thanks anyway. Morning sickness has been kicking my butt, but compared to some of the horror stories I've heard from other moms, I know I don't have it that bad. It'll all be over soon, and I'll have a beautiful baby in my arms. All of this will be more than worth it. Day 46. Korean rest areas, the ultimate road trip experience. I've always loved traveling, whether by plane or by car, but if I had to pick one thing that makes road trips in Korea extra special, it would definitely be the rest areas. Back in the US, highway stops usually mean either a basic bathroom break or overpriced snacks from a gas station. But in Korea, it's a food lover's paradise. We were on our way to Gyeongju to visit my husband's brother's family, and by the time we reached the rest stop, I was starving. What do you feel like eating? Can I get you something? My husband asked. I hesitated, staring at all the food stalls lined up. It's so hard to pick just one. Fish cakes? No. A corn dog? No. 소떡? You must be hungry. I'll grab a few and bring them back to the car. Just wait here and take a rest. Go to the bathroom if you need to. I'll be right back, he said before taking off. There is just too much delicious food to choose from. That explains why Korean rest areas are always packed. People come for a full meal, not just for a quick stop. I'm glad my husband and I have the same taste in snacks because we ended up sharing all 3 things I asked for. I can't wait until the drive home so we can stop again. Day 47. If we had superpowers. My husband asked me a funny question today. Honey, if you could have any superpower, what would it be? We had just gotten back from watching a superhero movie at the theater, and we're still munching on popcorn while walking home. Superpower? That's a tough one. Maybe the ability to instantly learn any language? Then I could finally understand all those Korean jokes that always go over my head, I said. What about you? That would be a game changer. But if I had to choose, I'd go with teleportation. Teleportation? That's a solid choice. But what would you actually do with it? I asked. Oh, so many things. For starters, I could take us anywhere we need to go in an instant. We could visit the US with just a snap of my fingers. No more sitting through long flights. And imagine skipping all the traffic when we go on trips. Plus, we'd never be late for anything again. I stopped walking and stared at him. Wow, I take it back. Teleportation is way more useful than I thought. I think you've got the best power. Too bad we can't actually get superpowers, but at least we still have popcorn. Day 48. The most creative homework excuse. Today, when I started checking homework in one of my classes, I noticed one of my students looking guilty. Miss Gabrielle, I couldn't do my homework. Why couldn't you do it? Well, I left my notebook open in my room, and my little sister thought it was a coloring book. She doodled all over it, and now it's an unreadable masterpiece. A masterpiece, huh? Do you have your notebook so I can check what she created? No, I left it at home. I figured you wouldn't be able to read it anyway, so I might as well just leave it on my desk, she mumbled, avoiding eye contact. Out of all the homework excuses I hear as a teacher, this one was definitely creative. If I can't check it, then you need to stay after class and complete it again. No excuses. Yes, Miss Gabrielle, she sighed, walking away like she had just lost a battle. Honestly, if students have a legitimate reason for missing their homework, I'm usually pretty lenient. But with excuses this wild, I sometimes wonder, wouldn't it be easier to just do the homework instead of spending all this time coming up with an excuse? Day 49. The Itchy Mystery. Have you ever had hives before? I've broken out in them a few times, but recently they've gotten really bad. They've been popping up all over, and they're impossible to deal with. They're so itchy. My husband thinks it's from something I ate, but I haven't had anything out of the ordinary lately, so I don't think that's the cause. He took me to the doctor yesterday to try and figure out what might be going on. Hives can also be caused by a reaction to an infection or illness in your body. Have you been sick recently? The doctor asked. I had the stomach flu a few weeks ago. That might be it, but just in case, let's run an allergy test to see if something else is triggering the reaction. I won't be able to give you any prescription medication due to your pregnancy. The results take about a week to come back. In the meantime, I can't take any strong medication because I'm pregnant, so I've been resorting to cold baths and ice packs to try and soothe the itching. I really hope this passes soon. Hives are no joke. Day 50. Welcoming our baby boy into the world. I can barely believe it. My heart is so full. I feel like it might burst. Last night around 6 p.m., my water broke. Everything after that was a whirlwind of emotions, nerves, excitement, a little fear, but mostly just love. And then around 8:30 a.m. this morning, he entered the world. The most amazing thing? He opened his eyes and looked right at me, like he already knew who I was. It was just one look, but it said everything. Mom, I'm here. I've been waiting for you. My husband cut the cord, his hands shaking, eyes full of tears. He kept whispering, "You did it. You really did it." Now we're resting in our hospital room, exhausted, but endlessly grateful. He's in the nursery for now, and we're counting the seconds until we can hold him again. One thing we haven't decided, his name. Even though we have a few names in mind, I think deep down, we're both just waiting for that feeling. The moment where we hear a name and our hearts just whisper, "That's him." So we'll wait, because he deserves the perfect name. One that holds all the love, dreams, and wonder that brought him into this world. And I know we'll find it.